with Kyle Evans. Grow with Kyle Evans.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the internet. Happy hump day to you, man. Happy Halloween week. Coach Kyle Evans coming to you on the G.R.O.W show for your daily checkup. Ladies and gentlemen, from the neck up. Man, we had an awesome week. We were in Orlando on Monday, teaching, speaking, doing bold, graduating, breaking boards, smashing limiting beliefs. And then yesterday, we got to hang out with some awesome group of people in Cincinnati, Ohio, doing the same thing, man. And I always, on step 6, walk away tired, number one, but just humbled, just grateful for the experience and being able to pour into people, having people come and raise their hand for more, raise their hand for a challenge, raise their hand for accountability, raise their hand for growth. And so as I was reflecting on that on the planes last night and this morning and what to bring to the show, I want to talk to you a little bit about this thing called ego. Ego. Ryan Holiday has a book called Ego is the Enemy. I'm going to title this one, and let's call it Ego is Expensive. It's expensive. You know, it's more expensive than a bad investment, a bruised ego that won't admit it. Guys, ego has bankrupted more businesses than a recession ever did and ever will. It's tanked more partnerships, right? It's blinded leaders, unfortunately, one of the downfall of them more often than not. It silences talent. It costs people peace, profit, purpose. The thing is, more often than not, and this is me speaking about me, maybe you'll resonate, it doesn't always announce itself. In fact, sometimes, more often than not, ego hides behind confidence. Come on now. Sometimes ego hides behind, you know what? I've got this. I don't need the help. Here's the truth. Ego, which is sometimes why it's missed and turned into invisible handcuffs, is it doesn't always roar. More often than not, it whispers. It whispers. Those whispers, they will cost you everything. So today, if you're with me, we're going to talk about why ego is expensive, because I've paid the price. Maybe you have too. Maybe instead of utilizing the expensive nature of ego, maybe we give humility a chance today and see what the better return is on that. Years ago, not too long, a couple years back, there was 2 agents. One was a female, and she was hungry, and she was inquisitive, and she had no ego, and she would take direction and was just asking questions and taking classes. And man, I couldn't even keep up sometimes with all of the questions and the hunger. And it's awesome to be around, and it fills you up too, right? And then there was another one side by side. And my guy couldn't tell him nothing. It's very hard to pour into a cup that's already full, especially if that cup is seeking information, seeking guidance. Here's the difference. The one who was hungry, the lady, a year later, she doubled her business. Doubled it. The prideful one, 13, 14 months later, he was out the business. Why? Because ego cost him money, and it also cost him opportunity. It cost him momentum. It cost him growth. The truth is, ego doesn't It doesn't empty your wallet all at once. It charges you in daily installments of missed wisdom. It charges you in daily opportunities missed. My life changed when I started putting my ego aside and was happy and okay and sought feedback and growth. Your life, your business, your interpersonal relationships will change, guys, when you reach for humility instead of ego. There's a hidden cost there. There's 3 taxes, in my opinion, that ego can put on your life. Number 1 is the financial cost, right? Ego makes you buy status before structure. Sometimes we're buying things to try to look rich, to look like we got it all together instead of actually building success. I said this in the room yesterday, man. Sometimes, guys, more often than not, um, fake money is loud and true wealth is quiet. The financial cost of ego is sometimes we want the perception before the foundation. That's why, unfortunately, you see people go out and buy cars that their business can't afford. Sometimes, unfortunately, we're saying yes to luxury, but no to the lessons. You ever notice how ego hates budgets? Because budgets feel like restraint. And restraint, girlfriend, that feels like humility. But the truth is, discipline saves more than dollars, it saves direction. The second tax, the hidden cost of ego, is the relational cost. Ego doesn't just block wisdom, ladies and gentlemen, it blocks people. You stop listening to your team, you stop listening to your spouse, you start competing with people you're supposed to be leading. Ego will make you the loudest voice in every room, but it'll also make you the loneliest. Ego creates distance. Write this down. Ego creates distance where humility creates gravity. Ego creates distance where humility creates gravity. If you've ever wondered why talented people stop bringing you ideas, it might be because your ego charges a toll at the door. If you ever wonder why people stop opening up, sharing, pouring into you, it might be because you have a tax that comes with the conversation. So you have the financial cost, the hidden tax of ego. You have the relational cost. And the third one that you need to pay attention to is the growth cost. Ego is allergic to feedback. And feedback is the breakfast of champions. Feedback is the fertilizer of growth. When you push back on correction, ladies and gentlemen, you're starving your own soil. And I get it. I get it. Sometimes we don't want to hear correction. Sometimes we don't want to hear constructive criticism. It doesn't always feel good, but it's the fertilizer of growth. Every time you say something like, I already know that, or that doesn't apply to me, you close the door on something that you didn't know. You close the door on some sort of growth. You close the door on some sort of opportunity. Alex Ramosi has a great line. It says, you can't get better and look good at the same time. That's the paradox. You can't get better and look good at the same time. And the truth of the matter is most people want 2 main things, man. They want to look good and they want to be right. They want to look good and they want to be right, but you can't get better and look good at the same time. Have you ever tried to ride a bike for the first time? Go swimming for the first time? Learn to roller skate for the first time? Ain't none of you look good doing those things. You look like a baby giraffe, but you're getting better. Most people want the improvement without the embarrassment. And more often than not, life doesn't work that way. This is episode 331. Go back and watch episode 1, Bubba. I assure you it didn't look this good. Growth and grace require humility. They require correction. They require feedback. They require you seeking truth instead of hiding behind your own story. And sometimes it doesn't feel good in the moment. But when you look back at the growth, when you look back at how far you've come, when you stop paying the hidden tax of ego and you start reaching for humility, it will be worth it. You will be proud. Because here's the truth, guys, humility pays dividends. So let's flip the coin here. If ego is expensive, humility is the greatest investment you'll ever make because humility compounds. It multiplies connections. It attracts mentors. It attracts allies. It attracts loyalty. Like, I want you to think about this. Every champion in any industry, any sport, anything had a coach or a mentor. Tom Brady, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. They were masters, yet they stayed students. That's the posture of humility. Here's the trick. When I say humility, I'm not saying that you say something like, I'm less than. What I want you to think is, I'm still learning. I still have room for growth. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. Humility is thinking about yourself less. When you operate from humility, you don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You just need to stay curious. You need to stay curious and not judgmental. You don't always need the last word. You just need the right result. And this is me talking to me. And this is a hard lesson I had to learn. And if we're just being honest, just you, me, and the fence post here, I'm still working on it. Guys, you don't always need to defend. What you need to do is develop. There's a quiet confidence that humility brings. Because the truth of the matter is, humility is not fragile. Humility is strength. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Asking for help is a sign of strength. Asking for help is sitting there saying, I will do everything in my power to get better, to make this work, to develop. And that includes humbling myself. You can't fill a cup that's already full. An ego keeps your cup overflowing with noise. But humility empties it so you can be filled again. So you can be filled with the right things, the right words, the right wisdom, the right knowledge, the right relationships. This is landing with you, resonating with you on this Wednesday morning together. Let's get tactical. Let's make this real. Let's do a self-audit. Because this show, this idea, this cornerstone today, it's not just theory. This is the doorway to transformation should you choose it. But you're going to have to put that ego aside. I want you to do a self-audit. My desire for you is to take a second and ask yourself this simple question. Where in my life am I defending instead of developing? Where in my life am I defending instead of developing? Here's a big one, especially for my salespeople and entrepreneurs out there. Where am I talking more than listening? Where am I talking more than I'm listening? And this is the question that causes me the most pain. And so it might do that for you. Where do I crave control because I'm afraid of correction? Where do I crave control because I'm afraid of connection? Ask yourself those three questions today or tomorrow. Where am I defending instead of developing? Where am I talking more than I'm listening? Where do I crave control because I'm afraid of correction? I need you to be honest with yourself because ego hides in the shadows of insecurity. It's the fear that if people see you learning, they'll think you're losing. They'll think that you're not as good as you say you are. Poo on that is what I say. Here's the truth. Learners are always winning in the long term. They're always leveling up. If you're in real estate, business, leadership, like whatever your arena is, your results are a reflection of your receptivity. How open am I? Closed mouths don't get fed. You can't look good and develop at the same time. The people who are still growing are the ones who are still open. And when you're open, you invite grace back into the game. And humility, it doesn't mean you shrink. Humility means you stop performing and you start progressing. Write this down, tattoo it on your brain. Humility doesn't cost your confidence, it actually upgrades it. It doesn't cost your confidence. Stop looking at it like a scoreboard. It actually upgrades it in the long term because you're able to grow. Your challenge for the week, because if you don't apply this, it's just noise, is I want you to go ask for feedback, but make sure it's to someone you respect. Because while I think you should all be reaching for humility more instead of ego, reaching for feedback, I want you to firmly and foundationally understand that not all feedback is for you. That's why this gets nuanced. Go to someone you respect, someone you look up to, mentor, peer, spouse, parent, friend, family member, whatever. And I want you to ask this simple question. What's one thing you think I could do better that I might not see? And then shut your mouth and listen. Don't defend it. Don't explain it. Receive it. Receive it. Process it. When they give you the feedback, you're going to say these two words. Thank you. That's it. Thank you. So go find someone you respect and ask for feedback. The next thing is I want you to admit one thing. Sounds easy enough. You need to say it out loud to your team, your circle, or maybe even yourself. This is where I'm growing. I have not mastered this. This is where I'm growing. There's freedom in honesty. The admission takes the sting out of imperfection. I need you to admit something. Stop hiding and start embracing. And the last thing I think every leader, every person should do, go serve without credit. Go serve without credit. Go serve so silently that one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing. Do something this week that helps someone else win. Don't post about it. Just serve. Just serve. Let humility work in silence because when you start paying the price of humility, you stop paying the tax of ego. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the internet, I will leave you with this. Ego is expensive. It'll make you chase applause over impact. It'll keep you busy proving instead of becoming. It'll make you look rich and feel poor. But humility, it makes you magnetic. It keeps you teachable. It makes your relationships deeper, your business is cleaner. It makes your leadership stronger. So don't let your need to look right cost you the chance to get it right. Don't let pride drain what peace could have built. Ego is expensive, but humility pays forever. Onward. Let's go crush today. Let's stop paying that tax of ego and happily give to the cost of humility. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning.
Grow with Kyle Evans.